Hello, hello everyone. It's Gloria with Glory Be Resale, and I'm here to do a what sold from March 2nd to March 8th, 2026. And the first thing to sell on eBay, oh, and these are what sold on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and Etsy. And the first thing to sell on eBay was this pair of women's Peanuts Charlie Brown sweatpants. These were a personal item. I sold these for $10. Cost to me on them, nothing. All items that are personal items are going to be a zero on cost because I've already paid for them and used them. And to tell you honestly, they might have cost me 10 in the beginning. So anyway, next item to sell was this vintage piece of decorative iron metal reclaimed salvage. And this, I don't know what it used to be. Possibly, I'm thinking it might have been a hose front, to put your hose on outside on the, side of the house. But I'm not positive of that. And it doesn't matter. I sold it as a piece of reclaimed salvage for $29. And the cost to me on it was $2.99. Next item to sell. And if you wouldn't mind giving me a like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Gives me that motivation to go on. The next item to sell was this antique Tabor Prang litho from Springfield, Massachusetts. And this is an old litho, and this was the most popular Weeping Magdalene. I'm going to say I probably had 12 to 15 of these, and I sold the last two this week. And this was the most popular. I do have other prints of, I don't know, Jesus and of Mary Weeping Heart, something like that. But I do have a bunch of different prints. And this, I sent out an offer to somebody that was watching it for $12.50, and they bought it. And at this point, I made my money back from the lot that I picked up at auction. So cost to me on it is $0 and $12.50 made back. Next item to sell. I've had this a long time. This was the original picture. I have had this since Boston, so over 3 years, and very little interest in it. So I put it on a model this week, and well, not this week. I don't know, in the last 2 weeks. And it sold pretty quickly after I did that. Sold for $25, and the cost to me on it was $4.99. And I'm happy to have been able to get rid of it and sell it. Next item to sell was this vintage Talbot's 90s paisley dress. This is what the picture had looked like for it. I updated the picture, put it on a model, and sent out an offer on it for $23.80. And the cost to me on it was $5.99. Which is fine with me. Again, I'm trying to clear out clothes. So I was happy to see it go. Next item to sell was this pair of Laura Ashley polka dot pajamas. Again, another personal item. And these I took an offer of $15. Cost to me would be $0. And the last thing to sell was the very last Weeping Magdalene print. This sold for the full asking price of $15. Cost to me, $0. And I don't know if I mentioned when this was, but this company was in business from the late 1800s to 1938. So that the print is somewhere in the age of that, late 1800s to 38, 1938. So it's pretty old. Next item to sell was this vintage Belgium capri wool throw rug in blue. And I had multiple of these too that I had picked up on auction, and I still have probably at least one or two more blues and two or three more pink, something like that. But I sold this blue Belgium rug for $50. Cost to me was $5. And we're on Poshmark now. Next item to sell on Poshmark was this vintage Holland floral leprechaun planter. And these I picked up at an estate sale. I had two of them. One had already previously sold. This one sold for $16. Cost to me on it was 25 cents. Next item to sell was this mint green Punxsutawney groundhog sweatshirt, and this sold for $24, and the cost to me on this was $4. Next item to sell, and this I had for all winter. I picked this up probably at the beginning of fall, figuring it would be a pretty easy sell. And this was the image I had. It also tied, and it wasn't selling. So I put it down to 35, still wasn't selling, had some likes though, and I put that on a model. I didn't change the price because it's the end of winter and I wanted it gone. I put it on a model, it sold within the week, if it took that long, and it sold for $35, cost me $10.49. Next item to sell was this vintage wooden cat with a bow tie and a little mouse on his foot. This sold for $14, and the cost to me on it was 25 cents. The next item to sell, I had two of these mid-century plastic burwood shelves, $35 each, and somebody sent me an offer of $50 for the two of them, and I took it. The cost to me for both of these together was $5.98, so good profit on that. Next item to sell was this handmade salva tray, and it was copper and I think pewter. And this I had sold before and I could not find it. I had to cancel the order. I found it again, listed it again, and it sold for $30. Cost to me on it was $2. The next item to sell over on Mercari was this lime green spider jacket, and this sold for $24. Cost to me was $5.99. Over to Etsy, where I had the worst week I've had in over a year. I only sold two items. And see, I had a third one here that got canceled. I'm gonna guess might have been the shipping, but they canceled the item. Well, anyway, they canceled it, so that didn't count. I only made two kind of small sales. First one was for this 1970s Gemco spice of life salt and pepper, and these sold for $22. Cost to me was $2.50. And the other thing that sold was this blue dove partridge trivet, pottery trivet, and this sold for $22, and the cost to me on this was $2.99. And that was everything that I sold. So, if you have stuck around this long, I'd appreciate that like and subscribe. And if you want to share with me what you've sold for a good amount of money or was a big surprise, feel free to share it in the comments and I'll share it with our listeners. I will see you next time with the next What Sold video. You have a great day and a great weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye.